What's going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy, and today I've got my England Euro 2016 squad. Now, I thought this was the right time because there was a league squad out which turned out it was fake. I mean, surprise, surprise. And the Twitter account actually responded brilliantly with a little bit of a gif saying fake, so I think that was a good reply, but it is due to be released later on this week, or the preliminary squad at least, that should or will be picked for Euro 2016. And I thought I'd pick my version and who I would take as England manager, if I was England manager, to Euro 2016. So, without further ado, let's start off in goal. We've got three goalkeepers, and to be honest, it's a dead heat. I think a lot of people are agreeing. It's Joe Hart, Fraser Forster, and Tom Heaton. If not Tom Heaton, then Ben Foster. But in general, it's not going to matter because if Joe Hart and Forster both get injured, which I highly doubt will happen, I highly doubt any of the goalkeepers get injured. Touch wood, but they're my three. Joe Hart as number one, Fraser Forster as number two, and Tom Heaton having a fantastic season for Burnley in at number three. Alright, so the easy part's out of the way now. On to the defenders now. I received a bit of stick for my selection earlier on in the season, in which I did not select Kyle Walker. He has actually made it into this squad because I've realised that we could have a good frame. If Klein doesn't play, we've got a good frame, and I'll run through my right backs, my left backs, and then my centre backs. So I start from right backs. There's no one else to pick. If you're going to have two right backs, it's Klein and Walker. They are easily our best two right backs. You may have players like Simpson and Trippier trying to trip them up, if you'll pardon the pun, and get in there before them, but I cannot see anyone getting in before them. Centre backs, I'll start with centre backs and then move on to left backs, so go across the defence. I've only brought three with me because I've got, well, spoiler alert, I've got a player in midfield that can fit in a centre back and is really a centre back but plays in front of the defence for Spurs. But I've picked Chris Smalling, Gary Cahill, and John Stones. Reason for that is generally because Chris Smalling and Gary Cahill for me are the best two we should take to the Euro 2016. John Stones, fantastic on the ball. If we need a goal, he's probably a good defender to have in against a team where we do need to score, because he can come out and play with the ball. Though he's maybe not the best, makes a few mistakes, he can learn. This will be a great learning experience for him. Although he's had the best game or best season so far, you look at it and has any England defender had a good season? To be honest, no. Smalling's had his errors, Cahill had his errors, Jagielka has his errors, Dan's had his errors, Shawcross had his errors, Stones has had his errors. Everyone's had their errors, so now's the time to prove who is the best, and I think John Stones will just squeeze in. And then my left backs, I've got picked two. Now this is a pick where you've got 5 or 6 players you could take. I've gone with number one left back in Danny Rose. I think he's had a phenomenal season for Spurs. I was a bit, surprised he didn't get a team of the season, but hey ho, what will be. And playing second fiddle to him. Now this one is probably the one that will cause the most debate out of the defence, which is Ryan Bertrand. Now people, will immediately jump down there saying, well, hold on a minute, Ryan Bertrand, there's better options. And, admittedly, you've got Leighton Baines, Aaron Cresswell, you've got Kieran Gibbs maybe, although he hasn't played first team football. You've also got, I can't remember his name, Luke Shaw, that's the one I was thinking of. But for me, Bertrand's played consistent first team football throughout the seasons, had a really good season, really solid season. He can play left back, he can play further forward in midfield, so it gives us an option there. He can play in centre back like he has done for Southampton a few times this season. So he's a nice versatile player, and if you're a fan of me and my channel, you'll know that I do love my versatile players. So that's my defence sorted. Who have I got in my midfield? Well, starting off, the first person in there, the holding midfielder, I suppose you could say, is Eric Dyer. He comes in because he's had a phenomenal season. I feel like he is a must, one of the few players that is an absolute must if we are to have any success in Euro 2016. Next up on the list, we've got Danny Drinkwater. Now, one that causes debate. Some people say he's overrated, some people say he's underrated, some people say he should go, some people say he shouldn't. For me, I'm sort of on the fence, but he's had a phenomenal season. He's had a great season. It's it's hard to say he hasn't. And for me, he does deserve a place in the squad. If you're going on the fact form is there, although he got a red card, so have a few England players in recent times. including Jamie Vardy. Spoiler alert, I might pick him. And but Danny Drinkwater definitely deserves a spot. And next up, we've got another central midfielder. We've got Liverpool captain, which is Jordan Henderson. For me, he has to go as well. Although people debate whether he, should start. I think for me, he's definite. At least into the 23-man squad to take to France. He's a fantastic player, box to box, can do a lot of things. Corner taker in the Germany game, assisted the Dyer, sorry, I keep on mixing them up, but he's definitely one to go. Now next one I've got is a bit strange. A lot of people, will look at me strangely. That's Michael Carrick. Now, a really weird one, but for me, he's probably the best passer we have. Danny Drinkwater's good. You've got the players in the squad at the moment. You've got Jordan Henderson's good. John Stones can pick out a good pass. But for me, Michael Carrick is such an experienced player. He's so calm on the ball. He's played for England before. He's played in Champions League finals, played against some of the best players. And if we, defending out a lead, to bring him on for someone that's attacking, sit him in midfield, every time he gets the ball, he's got a calming pressure. Now, even if he has got the Carrick pass where he hits it back to the goalkeeper a lot, he's got that calming sort of, feeling about him. And bringing him on next to Dyer, it could be, it could be a great move, and I feel like that's why he should play. Maybe not start, but that's why he should be on the plane for the 23-man squad. And then we go into more attacking midfield, starting off with James Milner. Now, is he attacking midfielder? Who knows? He can play everywhere. He can play right back, he can play up to right wing, he can play in the centre, he can play attacking centre. He can pretty much do everything, and that's what I love about him. Work rate wise, again, if we're looking to maybe charge down a goal or defend a goal lead, he's one to bring on because he gives you, such work rate that, maybe put him next to Carrick, and all of a sudden you've got a fantastic midfield. Carrick with that calming passing play, and Milner, running around, giving him work rate. It's fantastic to have in the squad. Next up, two must-goes, I think. We've got Ross Barkley and Dele Alli. For me, they've had great seasons, Dele Alli especially, and they definitely deserve a spot, probably even, a starting place in this team. And lastly, we've got Raheem Sterling. Now, a lot of people have criticised him this season. He hasn't had the best of seasons, it's fair to say, but he offers something that no one else offers, and that is, a little bit of pace, and he's a winger. That is something that we don't have. Walcott always likes to come inside, generally. And I don't see Walcott better than I do see Sterling. And Sterling, you can have him wing, and if you've got maybe a slow fullback or a tiring fullback, if you've got him down one side, you can switch him around to the other, you can bring him on. He's a great player to have, and it gives us that option of pace, of that wing play, that will allow the strikers to get into different positions, allow midfielders to get further up as well. But that's my midfield done, all 8 of them there. Now we're on to the strikers, and there is one surprising pick in there, but starting off with Wayne Rooney, he has to go, no doubt about it. I wish people would stop saying Rooney doesn't deserve to go, Rooney doesn't go. What a load of nonsense. That is honestly the biggest load of nonsense. Now, probably, going to be hit with a lot of people, maybe unhappy with that statement, but for me, he's England captain. And no matter what, if he doesn't play up front, I don't think he should play up front. Putting him behind the striker is the best we've got there, easily. You say Dele Alli plays there, you say Ross Barkley plays there, Rooney, 10 out of 10 times, easily plays there. Second striker, definite must go, Harry Kane. Phenomenal form, could be getting up a Golden Boot award for the top goal scorer. Not much more I need to say. Third up, Daniel Sturridge. Now, the fact that Welbeck will miss Euros means that Sturridge definitely gets a spot in the team. He's been in good form. He scored a few goals since he come back and in Klopp's team, Liverpool. And for me, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking he gives us something option. He gives us, pace. And, he's in the right place at the right time and got great finishing about him. And lastly of the, usual picks, you've got Jamie Vardy. Comes in, he's got pace, he's got work rate, he will run anything down. And that for me is why he makes it into the team. Now that's 22 players. The last player, and mark my words, it will be controversial. I would bring Andy Carroll as the, a man in the 23-man squad to France. Simple reason, he offers something we don't have. You look at the fact we've got 4 people that can play a striker. Rooney, maybe, a lot deeper. He's a passing striker and a assister. And you've got Kane, the goal scorer. You've got a little bit of pace in Sturridge. You've got the pace and work rate in Vardy. What we don't have is a battering ram. And I think that I'm a huge lover of tank men anyway, but I'm a huge lover of battering rams. And you see when he comes on, he has such an effect. For me, in Europe, he's one of the best headers of the ball, the best attacking header of the ball, easily in the Premier League. Last but not least, we have the on standby, so the standby players. I don't know how many you've got, but I've got 9. 8 technically, but 9. Starting off, Ben Foster. You know, we haven't really got anyone else. John Ruddy has had an awful season for Norwich, so I don't think he gets in above Ben Foster. Then we've got Phil Jagielka, centre-back, good experience, very, very good. And if, you know, someone needs to be filled in, then Jagielka's definitely the first to call. Then we've got Aaron Cresswell. He's had a fantastic season as well. The reason why he gets in above Luke Shaw and Leighton Baines is because he's played the whole season, played well the whole season. Baines has not been good this season. Luke Shaw has been injured a lot of the time, and that's why he doesn't make it into the team. Then, you know, I'm not sure if you can allow it, but I've got 9 players, and I think that's 8 on the leaked one. But I've got Danny Simpson in there, just for the fact if a right back gets injured, we're not going to replace him with Jagielka or Cresswell. And Danny Simpson, I think, has been the 3rd best right back and deserves a spot for his play in Leicester City's title triumph. Then we've got midfielders now. Mark Noble comes in. West Ham fans can be happy. We've already got West Ham player in there. We could have 2 more if injuries go their way, but Mark Noble gets a spot on the reserve list just for the fact he's had a fantastic season. And you know, although he doesn't get in just maybe in place of Michael Carrick, but Mark Noble definitely deserves a place on the standby list. Then we've got Mark Albrighton, another Mark. He's had a fantastic season for Leicester, sort of really been under the radar because of the Mahrezes, the Kantés, the Drinkwaters, the Vardys. And for me, he definitely deserves a spot here on the reserve list. Then we've got Mikel Antonio. Again, another strange one, you could say, but for me, he has pace, and he's played, let's face it, from his last few years in his career, he's played right back, right wing, striker. He can play attacking midfield, he can play central midfield, he can play basically anywhere. He'll give you work rate. Although he's not complete, he will attack, and he's a great young player, and for me, he definitely deserves a spot on the reserve list for this season. Then we've got Jermaine Defoe. Jermaine Defoe gets a spot on the reserve list because he's been in fantastic form. He's a goal scorer. You think of strikers, right place, right time. He's one of the top you think of. If I could click, that'd be awesome in the Premier League. And lastly, a bit of a surprise, we've got Andre Gray. He's been really under the radar because of Championship this season. He's been at Burnley, signed for about £9-10 million. And it really has paid off. He's had a fantastic season. And if you're questioning, well, he's done it in a Championship, that's a lot different. Tom Heaton is in most people's squads. Championship's a lot different. Why not pick Ruddy or Ben Foster? Exactly my point. If you're in form, we have to pick you. But that is my team. Hopefully you have enjoyed. My starting 11 will be out a few days after this, so this will be picking out of the 23 I've got a starting 11 for the game, I believe, against Russia. Thank you guys for watching. Like this video, then leave a like. Let me think in the comments down below. Let me know what your squad would be in the comments down below, and subscribe if you feel like I'm worthy, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.